Well, they come in all shapes and sizes, and even once you've narrowed it down to the car that you want, there's still a lot of work left to be done and a lot of money to be saved if you know what you're doing. So let's ask the money coach this morning. Lynette Khalfani-Cox joins us here once again on San Diego Living. It's good to see you, Lynette. How are you?
Thank you, Mark. I'm doing great. Good to be back on the show.
Oh, yeah, it's always nice. And you say now is actually a pretty good time to buy a car. Now, why would now be better than some other time?
Well, I think a lot of factors are coming to play right now that actually benefit the consumer. From a timing standpoint, of course, we're heading towards the end of the year.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to see some dealers start to roll out some of the discounts to get rid of those 2013 models. Might sound like it's a good deal for them, and it's a good deal for consumers as well. They're making way, of course, for that 2014 inventory, and you're going to see some incentives even on the 2014 models. But another reason it's a great time to think about buying a new car is that the average car on the road today in America is just over 11 years old. And so, maybe you've got one of those older vehicles and you've been paying a lot in terms of maintenance and upkeep and repairs on that car. Maybe you keep hearing that, nasty little noise coming from the engine or the transmission. You need to put new brakes on there, new wheels and whatnot, new tires. So you might be thinking, do I want to keep putting money into this, or do I want to think about a new car where I can get a warranty and have a little more peace of mind, maybe get a special 0% financing offer, those kinds of things. And so I think consumers really should be keeping their options open and figuring out how they can buy, what might be suitable for their family's needs, but do it in a smart way.
And you've got some strategies here for coming up with a down payment as well, because some of those older cars now, if you've been driving your car for 11 years, might not have a lot of trade-in value.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, coming up with that down payment is one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people face when they're trying to get a new car. So here's a way for your viewers out there in San Diego to think about how they can come up with a down payment that might come from an unexpected source. It's from a credit card. Now, no, I'm not going to tell you to go out there and charge your down payment on a credit card. I'm actually going to tell you about a product that probably most of them don't know about. It's the GM card from Capital One. Essentially, here's how it works. You just charge your normal everyday spending. So maybe you're buying clothes for the kids or shoes or groceries or whatever. And then based on your spending, you accrue earnings that you can amass and put towards the down payment for a new GM car. So the earnings you rack up never expire, and there's no cap on the amount that you can earn. So it's a really good way for people who are going to be charging anyway, and I'm not recommending that you go out and charge extra stuff, but if you're just going to do your normal everyday spending, you can apply the earnings that you get from this card towards that purchase or even a lease of a new GM car. So take your pick if you want a SUV, a truck, a family car, sedan, a minivan or whatever. It's a great way for you to save some money, and it's painless.
And I'm always amazed at when somebody like GM comes up with something and you think, well, why didn't they think of this before? I mean, there's well, still room for innovation, and not only in the automobiles but in the financing of them.
Absolutely. And I think one of the ways that we're seeing some of these innovations benefit the consumers is where you have partnerships, frankly, where the companies themselves are being responsive to customer feedback. You say, why did they think of this before? Capital One did some survey, and they found that, their customers were saying, yeah, you know what? We'd like to have more flexibility. We'd like for our rewards not to expire. We don't want any caps on it. We don't want any blackout dates. We don't want any foreign exchange fees if I'm using the card, I don't know, overseas or whatever. And so what they did is this card, believe it or not, has actually been around for many years, but they sort of just rolled it out as a new, updated, enhanced version of the card. And they did it because they were listening to people like you when you said, hey, why didn't you think of that before? They were trying to give some enhancements. And one of the things that people want is flexibility in how and when they use the card.
Lynette, before I let you go, where can folks go for more information? Because I guarantee you we have piqued a lot of interest here.
I bet. I've written about it myself on my blog, and my site is askthemoneycoach.com. But also, if you want to check out that card where you can amass the savings for that down payment, go to CapitalOne.com/GM card.
Very good. CapitalOne.com/GM card. And askthemoneycoach.com.
That's right.
Lynette Khalfani-Cox, always great to see you, always great information, and boy, today was no exception. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care now.
See you again soon.